Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about this watch here. This is the Casio WS-B1000. It's available in some different color combinations. This one is kind of the blue case and band. There's also one there's kind of a regular kind of more monochromatic black and gray, and then there's one that's a little bit off-white that has a negative display. So your choice there. If you bought these directly from the Casio website, they want $65 for this, but I found this one at the Walmart website and also at Amazon for about $38, $39. So I thought that seems like a pretty good deal. So that's why I picked this one up. Let's take a look at the back, and you can see it's very similar to a lot of my other Casio watches. Water resistant, it says there, but it's actually 10 bar water resistant, so that'll give you 100 meters. Right there, the model there, stainless steel back, all this information that you normally find in the back of Casio watches, and then the module there, 3564. So you can look up instructions for this. It's funny, it came with a little paper booklet of instructions that didn't tell me very much. In fact, kind of ignored the whole Bluetooth connection that, yes, is a part of this watch. So as you probably know, if you've watched any of my other videos, one thing I really like about Casio watches is when they're tough solar watches, solar powered. This one is not. It uses a regular lithium battery that should last 3, maybe almost 4 years between battery changes. And then also the thing I really like is when it's multiband 6 or wave scepter technology to set itself to the right time. However, this uses Bluetooth to connect to a Casio Watches app on my smartphone, and that way it will also set itself to the correct time automatically. And so, I like that. And so, yeah, I figured, under $40, sets itself to the right time. It's not super packed with features, but it's got some really neat stuff, and it's lightweight, simple, and for this price, I feel like I'd be silly not to get one, right? So what I'm going to do here is first I'm going to set it up for you. If you've got this straight out of the box, you're looking at it, you want to set it up and start using it. What you might do is go right here and press and hold this set button, adjust button here till things start to blink. And here it's saying on and steps, it says down there blinking. So this is, do you want the step counter on or off? You can set that there. Next is where you tell it what is your goal for step counting, because it has a step counter built into it, right? So I set it to 5,000. Some people say you should do 10,000 steps a day. This will actually count your steps from anywhere from, just 0 steps all the way up to 999,999 steps. So if you really did take 1,000,000 steps a day, you could, you could overpower this watch, I guess. But as far as the goal, this step goal here, you can do anywhere from 1,000 to 50,000 steps, and those are set in 1,000 step increments. And let's see, I can push this button down here on the right to increase that, or if I press this lap button or reset button down here, that is the opposite direction on that. I'll put it at 5,000 steps, and let's see how we do. I haven't actually worn this watch yet. I've played with it some, but I wanted it to be in pristine condition when I made this video, so I haven't really put it through its paces, as you will. But as soon as this video is done, I'm going to wear this a lot. Okay, next is where you can set the set the time manually here if you don't want to wait for the Bluetooth. And so right there, I would reset the seconds to the nearest minute if I push that button there. Here, if I press the button down here that's marked mode on the lower left, then I can reset the hours. And again, I can go the other direction using this lap button down here. Or minutes, I can do whatever there. I can set the 12-hour or 24-hour mode. I guess I can only do that with this button here on the lower right side. So again, the whole watch will be in either 12-hour or 24-hour display. If I do this, I'm going to leave it on 12. Then I can also, set the year and the month and the day of the month right there. And you notice I'm just getting this really random here because I know that in just a moment I'm going to reconnect to Bluetooth and it's going to correct all of this in just a quick step. The key feature there. Key or mute are your options here. So again, I've explained this on other watches, but just in case. When it's on key mode here, then every time you press a button, just about, you're going to hear a little bit of a beep as you change modes, as you start and stop the stopwatch or the timer, just lots of beeps. But if I put it on mute, then most of those beeps will not happen. I can change modes without a beep. I can start a stopwatch without a beep. The only time when it's in mute that it's still going to make sounds is when it's the end of a countdown timer or one of the alarms is going off, or the hourly signal, the little beep beep at the top of each hour. So yeah, I like to leave it in mute most of the time so I can play with my watch when I'm bored in a meeting and not, have all these distracting beeps. Then the backlight, it's got a backlight here. This button up here does an amber LED backlight, and I'll show you that in a moment. So that can last either 3 seconds or 1.5 seconds. So some people like the shorter duration so they don't wear down the battery. I'll leave it on the longer duration because generally speaking, I don't use the backlight all that much anyway. So I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about wearing down the battery with this one. Next, power save. So this will go into power save mode overnight when you're not using it. It'll just make the screen go blank. And the way to bring it out of that sleep mode when it's on power save is to just press any button or start wearing the watch and moving it around, since it does have that that motion sensor thing inside of it. That'll take it out of sleep mode. So power save, save some power if you leave that on and you're not using the watch overnight, or if you just never want it to go blank, just do power save off and you're set there. And now we're back to the beginning. That's all our setup. Now, all right, so let's look at the regular timekeeping mode here. There you've got a little PS right there indicating you are, power save is enabled. So if the watch is not used overnight, it'll go into that sleep mode. There's the day of the week abbreviated. Right there next to that, just tucked against the next little box there, looks like the number 1, but that's actually two little bars that kind of alternate turning on or off to indicate when it's counting your steps. So what does count as a step and what doesn't. There are some indications right there. In this little window here that kind of looks like a clock face that's starting to fill up, that corresponds with the seconds here. And so it'll take a full minute for that to fill all the way up. But as you see, the seconds are advancing, gets to 15 seconds, and then it's just past the 1/4 of that box being filled in. So kind of like a second-hand indicator there. And it does operate different ways depending on what mode that the watch is in. But in this case, it's just counting, corresponding with the seconds. So yeah, hours, minutes, and seconds, the year, the month, and the date, and then that little indicator showing you that it's in mute mode as far as the beeps are going or not going. Now I can change this bottom line here by pushing this lap button or reset button down here, and now it's going to give me an active counting of my steps down here instead of the date. And up here there will be some indication of my step count, a little graphical indication throughout the day. So sometimes that's going to go up. There'd be some dots filling in if I've taken a lot of steps, kind of showing me what times of the day I've been taking more steps or fewer steps. But since I haven't worn the watch yet today, don't have much to show there. The step count resets every day. I think it just happens right at midnight. So, so you get a fresh start every day at 0 steps. But again, either have your running count down there or you have your, your date there. So your choice. Okay, now if I'm going to press the mode button here, it goes to my stopwatch. So it's a pretty comprehensive stopwatch here. I don't get into stopwatches all that much, but this one is kind of fun. Okay, so if I start the stopwatch down here with this button on the lower right, okay, I've got it's kind of nice. I've got the local time right there going at the same time as my stopwatch. Okay, and the number 1, because this will save, what does that say? Lap memory 200. So it's going to save a lot of your stopwatch information as you start and stop and do laps and things like that. And again, I haven't dug too deep into how it exactly saves that information, and then you can send it to your phone through that Bluetooth app. But if it's running right now and I press the lap button down there, it shows me my split time there. Now, if I wanted to, if I'm actually looking for my lap time here, I could tap the adjust button in this mode. And instead of having the local time down there, I've got my lap time there. So it's telling me that since I pressed the lap button there, it's now been 49 seconds as it's going. So I can see, well, how long was my lap? And then I press that again. And so we're going to start over. It's going to freeze that for just a couple seconds there. And then keep going. It's actually closer to 10 seconds or so. It's going to freeze that and then keep on going. So yeah, now it's showing me that was 8 seconds that I'm now 13 seconds into my new lap. So you got your split time, you got your lap time there. You got, this is your overall duration of this. So yeah, all that information and the number 3 has appeared there to show me, I'm on my 3rd lap. So yeah, I don't get too complicated when I use stopwatches, but if you do, this is kind of a nice complicated stopwatch for you. But if you want to, you can just simply stop it there and use the reset. It's kind of right there. But it actually has kept some information from what I was just doing, and I'll get to that. But let's go to the next mode. The next mode is where I see that information. So I can scroll through here and see, number 1, that's how long that was. Number 2, it's showing me that that's how the split time and the lap time. And I guess that's all that it saved for that. But anyway, yeah, a little bit beyond what I use the watch for, but I think it's kind of neat. I might start using it now that I'm starting to understand it a little better. My next mode is my countdown timer. So this is up to an hour's worth of countdown. I can set the number of minutes and let's see, and seconds. So I can do whatever I want there, all the way up to, let's just test this for sure. I'll take it all the way to, let's see, 1 minute, and then down below that, 59 minutes. So if I set it to all zeros, let's just do this just to be clear, that's a true 1 hour countdown timer. Okay, but other than that, it's just minutes and seconds from 1 second all the way up to a full hour for your countdown timer. Next mode then is my dual time mode. So in this case, I can choose a different time zone and show the dual time there. If I wanted to, I could actually set here the hours and the minutes to something other than what the local time is, or even what the local time is in some other time zone. So maybe I want, for some strange reason, I want a different time zone plus 5 minutes, or I want my current time zone plus 5 minutes. That's where I can make this adjustment here. Or again, I could just set it to any time zone around the world. Just the hours and minutes can be different from my local time. The seconds are going to remain the same. And there is an easy way to swap my world time with my local time by holding down this button here on the lower right side. So just hold that down to swap, and there you go. Now my local time is going to be this one, and my dual time is going to be what used to be my local time there. So that might be useful if you're traveling, if you're switching time zones often, or maybe, this isn't quite so common, but I remember when I was going to school way back in the 1900s, the school clock that set all the clocks around the school was off by, I don't know, just like a minute or two from atomic time. So I didn't know when I'm at school if I wanted my clock, my watch, to be set to the school clocks or to the actual real time. I guess in this case, I could do that with this dual time function, and then just, swap them when I'm at school or when I'm not at school. Anyway, this is fun things. Okay, next mode is your alarm mode. So right now, this is also where you can choose whether you want the hourly signal to be on. And I can turn that off by just tapping the adjust button, on or off on that hourly signal. Now, if I want to go through, there are 5 alarms here also. So, choose whatever one you want, and then you can turn it on or off there. Or if you want to change the time, it works the same as just about, every other watch I have from Casio. You just simply make that change, hours and minutes, and your alarm is set. Okay, then next, looks like we're back to our regular timekeeping mode. Now, there are just a few more things this watch can do that are accessible through the app. Now, you can do almost everything you need to do without using the app, without using the Bluetooth connection. If you're just not into this stuff, you don't have to get into this stuff. But to me, it is kind of convenient to be able to use the app to do a few things a little bit more conveniently. Here on the app, on the upper row, I've got all the watches that I have that are linked to this app, but I'm going to go to this one here that I've already added this to the app. I've already made the link. So then I just go to my watch and it starts to show me things about my watch. But right there, it's showing me there's no connection to my watch. So in order to make that connection, I'm going to hold down this button here on the lower left. Just hold it for a couple seconds there, and I see that CNCT has been is blinking now, and it's trying to make that connection. The app is now responding, and it takes just a couple seconds here to complete the connection. And when it does, you may have noticed there that the watch's time and date have been completely corrected now. They are absolutely right, linked to the app. Casio, I think, uses its own time servers for this app to make the connection, but this is the right time. This is atomic time. This is reliably the right time to use. And then you can get into the app to do, all the typical things you would want to do in the app. For example, I can go in here and see those are all of my alarms. I can activate the alarms from right here very easily, very quickly, the hourly signal. I can also change the alarm very easily and very simply right here on the app. And then I just tap send the setting to the watch. Takes a couple seconds there. The watch says okay in the display, and my changes to the alarms are just that easy, just that simple. So that could be a lot easier than pushing a whole bunch of buttons on the watch to do that same thing. Also, the countdown timer, I started it at 0. I think the next time I do it, I'm going to want to do it from my standard 30 minutes there. So I send that setting to the watch, and now next time I go to the countdown timer mode on the watch, it'll be already set to do 30 minutes. The life log here, a step reminder, my location history records. I'm going to have to, now that I'm wearing the watch, or I will be wearing it as soon as this video is done, this will be kind of fun to do. I can begin recording my location information, and I guess that'll just save right here in the phone, and I can automatically stop that in an hour, or, I can set that to anywhere from 1 to 24 hours in full hour settings to say, as I'm recording my location information to the phone, you can stop that in 1 hour. So I don't know. Stopwatch here. This is where I can import the records from the watch and start and analyze them on my phone, and take that data and do what I will with it. This in the world time mode, this is kind of fun because I can choose, instead of manually setting the hours different, in the world time mode of the watch, I can just go in here and I can search for any city I want and say, how about I zoom in here to Bolivia and say, I want La Paz, Bolivia to be my other time zone. And I send that setting to the watch. And now the next time I go to dual time in the watch, it'll show me the time in La Paz, Bolivia for that. Time synchronization. This is where it's showing me that it has synchronized itself these times here. And typically, as long as the watch is close enough to the phone and the phone is set up correctly, it'll try to set itself, it'll check itself. I think it's 6:30 and 12:30 a.m. and p.m. So you get 4 times a day that'll automatically set itself to the right time. It looks like these happen 6:46, 12:46 on those days. So, that'll keep it with minimal effort on your part, as long as you have the app set up to know your location at all times. Then that link can happen automatically, even when the app is not open, even when you're not trying. It will keep setting itself. There's a phone finder feature where you can press a button on the watch and it'll make a sound come out of your phone. I won't set that up right now. And then also some other watch settings like the key sound. So you want that key or mute thing. You want to set the backlight duration. You can do that in the phone and send that to the watch. Watch display, again, 12 or 24 hours. Power saving mode, you can turn that on or off, and you can make a summertime or a daylight saving time adjustment there as well. And here, let's see. You can swap the world time and your local time right there. So yeah, it is kind of nice to use the phone every now and then to make a quick adjustment. Also, the connection between the watch and the phone can time out after 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you're not paying attention to it, and that won't drain your batteries. so well. So anyway, a lot of the phone functions are similar to what they are on other watches I have that are connected to the phone. So it's kind of nice that it also allows me, again, to make some of those adjustments very quickly rather than a whole sequence of buttons on the watch. And, I don't necessarily have to change my alarm setting and some of these other settings very often anyway. So if I do that quickly on the phone and then go back to normal use of the watch and don't have to worry about connecting to the phone, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But again, I find that the Bluetooth phone app can be very useful and convenient. And also, if I don't use it, that's okay too. But it is fun to know that this watch will always be set to the right time. Another thing is, if I happen to go to another time zone, this is going to determine my time zone automatically based on the phone. So let's say I take a flight, I'm suddenly in New York City. And the next time this connects to my phone automatically, it will automatically update the time zone without any effort on my part. Something that the multi-band 6 watches don't do unless they have a Bluetooth in addition to that, where they can automatically sense your time zone and update it on the watch without any effort on your part. This is what the watch looks like on my wrist. It's comfortable, not too heavy. I've got a few more holes there in the strap if I had a larger wrist. My wrist is about 7.5 inches all the way around. So, it worked well for me. And I think if you've got a smaller wrist, it should work pretty well. It doesn't feel like or really look at a glance like a big watch. So that's kind of nice, even though it's feature packed. Let's just do a quick size comparison. So here's this one. Here's one I got a few months ago that was also Bluetooth and a step tracker. So, very similar size there. Now compare those to maybe a typical G-Shock Square, about that size there. It looks a little bulkier, the G-Shock Square, but not too different as far as size goes. Here's a Wave Scepter that I got Japanese market, so you can see it gets a little bit bigger there. Here's a nice big beefy Edifice watch, that you can see the size there. This is a nice affordable simple watch, the W-800, so pretty comparable at that size there. And the weight, here's a nice big AE-1500 with big digits. You see how much bigger that is. And here's a diver style watch, the classic Casio Duro. You can see. So to me, I don't think about the size of the watches very much. They're all very fun and comfortable. And this is going to fit nicely into my collection. Let's be thorough with a weight on there. Oh, a very nice lightweight, 36 grams compared to this 800. Also right there, about 36 grams. Compared to G-Shock Square, we're looking in the low 50s. And then you get into something a little bit heavier like this metal step counter there, and also big old ProTrek watch. So I think among all of these, it's going to be very comfortable and nice to wear. Here's the backlight, and it shows up pretty well. I think I'm very pleased with that. Compare that to maybe the backlight on this other one. Very, very similar. These both recent releases, just in the last year or a little bit more than a year, compared to say this G-Shock Square here that has kind of an LED backlight there in a different color, compared to one of these older Wave Scepter watches that still use the electroluminescent display. So, see what you think of those. But I think this one, it actually looks really clear, really nice to my eyes. And that's it for now. Now that I've made this video, I can start wearing this watch, having some fun with it. I don't expect too many surprises that I'll need to do a follow-up video. But if that happens, of course, I'll do a follow-up video. And I hope you'll be watching for that and other videos coming soon here to the Good Timekeeping Show.